Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'd ask that we start this meeting by rising for a moment of silence and then follow that by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join me.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, if we could have a roll call, please.
Dean Hamel.
Here.
Tom Brewster.
Here.
Brad Hunt.
Here.
Wayne Garmona.
Here.
Tom Eggers.
Here.
Okay. Next item up is the approval of the agenda.
Make the motion to approve.
Second. Any comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Garmona.
Aye.
Brewster.
Aye.
Hunt.
Aye.
Hamel.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Okay. At this time, we move into the public comments portion of our meeting. If anyone is here either by in person or by Zoom, you are welcome to step forward. I do have a few instructions prior to that. Before I read them, is there anyone that is going to speak, wants to speak at this time, rather than reading through this all? Anybody on Zoom? I see no one unmuting. So, all right. We will move forward then without having to go through that. Moving on then to our consent agenda. I'll take a motion to approve that.
So move. Support.
And just want to make a comment regarding Kevin Miller's resignation. Just want to thank Kevin for all he has done for the city in terms of the SCAT program, starting out as a volunteer, paramedic, or not a paramedic, but a volunteer to working as an EMT, and then taking over the directorship. He's given us a lot of wise leadership over these past few years, and we wish him the best in whatever else he pursues in the future. We hope that he comes back at some point as a volunteer. All right. With that being said, let's have a roll call. Roll call, please.
Hunt.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Hamel.
Aye.
Garmona.
Aye.
Brewster.
Aye. Okay. Moving on then to new business, item 6A, the USDA Rural Development Application. I'd like to open the public hearing at this time. If there's anybody that has comments on that, now would be your time to speak.
Jennifer Lowball here.
Does she want to speak? Jennifer, you need to unmute if you have something you'd like to speak at this point. If you would unmute, and the floor is yours. You're still muted. Mm-hmm. There you go. Now you're unmuted. Try again.
Okay. I'm just on here because I helped and worked with Sam on writing this application, and so I was just here in case anyone had any questions. We've got everything pulled together, just waiting for this public meeting, and see if there's any comments before we submit to USDA tomorrow.
Okay. If it's all right with you, I'd like to move into what I think we'll take those discussion items after we have this motion on the floor to consider the resolution. I think that would be most in order. Let me know if you disagree.
That's fine.
Okay. So if you just bear with us here, Jennifer, we'll see if there are any other comments regarding the USDA rural development application. Now would be your time to speak. And we may circle back to you shortly here if there are questions, Jennifer. Just stay with us for a little bit here. So at this point, then, I'll take a motion to close the public hearing.
So move. Support.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Brewster.
Aye.
Hamel.
Aye.
Hunt.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Garmona.
Aye.
Okay. So then moving on then to consideration of the resolution. Is there anything, Sam, that you would like to speak to at this point?
I would. Jennifer, I have a question for you. If you could talk briefly to the council about the potential mix of grants and loans that they can possibly expect, and along with the match that we would be expected to make with either grants or loans.
Okay, so USDA has a way of determining how much they think that they will be able to give in match versus loans. And then when Sam reached out to them at the beginning of this process, we've been told that the grant will be about 35% of the project cost, and then the loan would be the remaining portion. They do require a 10% match, minimum match for the loan portion, which we have included in the application. We actually have a little bit more because we're planning. The city was planning on doing some more fundraising and donations for the police dog. So we have a little bit more than 10% built into the budget. That possibly could change when we submit to USDA, either an increase in grants or a little bit less. They will take a look at it as soon as they get all the documents, which we have ready to go.
And the timeline, Jennifer?
I think that our last conversation with USDA was that they would start looking at stuff as soon as we sent it to them. It'd be within a couple of weeks that they would be turning around and letting us know the status of the application, if there's any additional information that they want. They're really easy to work with. They'll look through it, and if there's something else that they want, they'll reach out to us. So it's not like if we submit and we forget something, they just kick it out. They work with cities and counties to make sure that they can get the funding out to them.
Jennifer, this is Mayor Gale speaking. I missed what you said. Wait, I got your name, but I assume, are with the grant writing firm? Is that correct?
Yes.
And
yes.
What is that? And what is the name of that firm?
Simmering Quarry.
Okay. Just for the media, that you've got that information. Okay.
They also do our city codes, Iowa codification.
Okay.
Is the other part of it.
Okay.
Got a question, Mayor.
Yes.
She threw out percentages, but are we looking at this grant being written around a single project, or is this multiple projects over time? I didn't see it in the explanation. So,
Jennifer, would you mind addressing that? There's multiple projects involved, and the.
Yeah, can you repeat the question? I wasn't able to hear it.
So his question is: does this revolve around a single project or multiple projects? And if we're awarded this, does it need to be all done at once, or is it in a period of time?
that's my second question.
Yeah, so it is multiple projects based on public safety. So it includes equipment for police, fire, and emergency services. So it's a variety of projects rolled into this under the public safety umbrella. I think because it's partially loan and grant, I think we can probably work with them, and they'll give us, as far as the loan goes, it would just be we could do draws as the projects are done. I am not sure if they have a deadline for when that has to be. Everything has to be drawn. In previous projects, we worked on projects for 2 to 3 years before we close that loan, because we're just drawing on it as we need it.
Yeah, I have a question here. Is this a kind of an all or nothing type situation where, or is it that maybe we could get some of the monies but not all of it? Because I know there's a different, we've run into different situations where, there's just a pool of dollars available, and sometimes we get all of what we ask for, and sometimes we're allocated just a percentage. How does that work for USDA?
It's my understanding that USDA, they get their allotment each year, and then they work with the cities and communities that are trying to, or that are asking for money to fund those projects. So I think that if for some reason, there wasn't enough to go around to cover all of these project costs, just in my conversations with them, I think they would work with us to fund what they can now, and then maybe for the next allocation year there would be additional funding. But that's something we would have to check with them on.
Thank you.
Last question. What is the total dollar value of these projects that we're submitting?
I believe it's 1.823 million. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That's the loan amount. Oh, no, yes, you're right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Anybody have any further questions for Jennifer or questions for discussion as a council here?
So just for council, the way I understand it is that if we are awarded the grant, it would cover 35% of what we're asking for the project, and then the rest we'd have to do loan on, or match 10% of the loan.
That is correct.
Yeah. So of the 1.8 some million, 35% of that is really what we're going after for grant money.
That's correct.
Okay.
The rest is a low interest loan.
Yep.
Okay.
Do we know what the interest rate is on the loan, Jennifer?
I do not. I can try to look real quick while. It's a pretty low interest rate, if I remember right. It's I know it's not as low as SRF, which is around 2%. So, I don't know right off the top of my head what that interest rate is. It kind of fluctuates every time we call. It's a little bit different, and I haven't talked to them recently.
Anyone else? Thank you, Jennifer, for being there to answer our questions. I'm going to call for a motion to approve the resolution, which is a resolution as showing a sign as proof of hearing.
So move.
Support.
Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Brewster.
Aye.
Hamel.
Aye.
Farahona.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Kent.
Aye.
All right. So you have your marching orders there, Jennifer. Thank you for your work thus far, and we look forward to hearing more from you soon.
All right. Thank you very much.
You bet. All right, moving on then to our next item under new business, item 6B, update on the police dog. Which one of you police officers is going to give us an update on that as far as what's going on, where we're at?
I can give an update.
Okay.
Officer Miney.
Okay.
So I don't know if you guys saw yesterday, we got our $15,000 donation from KIWA. That was who the donor was. They came forward and they're doing it to celebrate their 60 years here in Sheldon. So that was a great gesture and a great gift from them. So when we have the 15,000 match, we have a little bit more than that. We're trying to get an additional 10,000 to cover any extra expenses we may have. I think we're well on our way to that extra 10,000. We have some pledges from other businesses to cover some expenses, and then also one of the banks has pledged 5,000 over the next 5 years, so 1,000 per year. I think we're well on our way. So, and then we've been kind of hashing out with the kennel that we're going to get the dog from, some of the logistics. But we do have a kennel picked out too. So, and then obviously we're working on equipment and things like that we need to purchase too. So, and then Officer Meineke had set up, did you find out what they set up yet? Or did you find out by chance? The dollar rounded up. So Fairway, Officer Meineke reached out to them. They're doing a rounded up for us to the nearest dollar. So then they'll donate that money to the K-9 fund too. So And then he's also set up a Venmo account so people can pay directly to that instead of, doing a check or whatever. So I think we're well on our way. We're getting excited.
And we're not done yet, correct? We're over the $30,000 threshold, but
Yep.
we still hope to go up to 40,000.
Yep.
Correct?
We want to get up to that 40,000. So, but I mean, we have enough to cover the dog and most of the expenses, if not all the expenses. But you kind of want that cushion because I'm sure there's things that'll come up that I forgot.
And if I'm hearing you right, Chief, you're saying you're feeling very confident about the remaining 10,000 still coming in through donation?
Yeah. So I think we're probably halfway there.
Okay.
From what I'm told is coming in, the county attorney's office has some discretionary funds that they're going to give us for that too. So we'll be there in no time, I think.
So with that $40,000, you feel that takes care of the the initiation of the capability of having a dog and officer, the training, and the operation for a year?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be any issue. So,
Okay.
and we've also had one of a local business say they're going to donate dog food for the life of the dog. So that's a huge expense. So.
Okay.
Yeah, the community stepped up. It's been great.
All right.
For the life of the dog, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
It's awesome.
yeah,
Wonderful.
It's a pretty big expense. So
What was that number?
which one?
The life of the dog number?
They're actually going to donate the dog food. So if you're talking $50 to $80 a bag, so that's pretty good.
And I'm sure it's more than just a cup of feeding, right?
The dog will eat better than us, probably. So,
I think that's a testament to our town. Outpouring his support. That's very cool.
yeah, it's been great.
Encouraging. Very encouraging.
Good night, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, go ahead.
So I'd like to thank Chief and Officer Meineke for their enthusiasm on this. We're all very excited about it. Micah has been working through the contract. It's almost completed. I'd like to have that on the next agenda on consent, and I think by then we'll have the fundraising in line too. We also have a fundraising letter going out in the utility billing in a few days as well. So if it's okay with everybody, I'd like to just recommend that we have the contract on the next agenda on consent. We can always pull it if it needs to be discussed, but hopefully by then we'll have the signature of the kennel and then we can move forward.
One thing I didn't talk about, if you guys, I'm sure, are probably curious, time-wise, we're looking at March. Officer Meineke would go up by Minneapolis area, and he would train for roughly 12 weeks, give or take. But so it's a long process, but we feel pretty confident that we're choosing the right kennel.
So would he have to be there with the dog totally
Yep.
for 12 weeks? So
Yep.
which will put us an officer short. So
Correct. So
hopefully that doesn't cause a problem.
it'll be a rough 3 months, but we'll be fine.
So, Chief, how old's the dog?
So the dog can be anywhere from 1 year to 2 years, it sounds like. So
Okay.
it just depends which one fits with us.
Okay.
They'll kind of pick out and decide which one fits with us, and then talk to Eric and I and see what our thoughts are. So
So
And the
it's a
dog will be
longer-term
from-
investment then.
the dog will be from Czech Republic, so it's quite a journey to get here too. So,
Oh,
Wow.
Who gets to name him?
I think the dog's pretty much named already, is my understanding.
Oh,
Yeah. So since they're already been trained a little bit.
sure.
If
So-
I might, Mr. Mayor.
Yep.
You know, one thing I just thought of just now is that with our budget hearings next week, that is noticed and published as a city council meeting, and if the agreement's done, you know, we could add it as an amendment to one of the budget meetings. So I don't know what anybody thinks about that, but that's just an idea if we're wanting to move forward and we have the contract finished by then.
I think the timing's fine. I just want to make sure that we have the opportunity to discuss the budget if there's considerations that there might be a gap between fundraising and
February 3 might
expenses.
be better than February 3.
But I'd like to have that discussion before we take action on the resolution.
There's no issues with that. Chief Birch, or
It doesn't sound like it.
if we wait till February, I kind of think I
Yeah,
like that.
February 3rd was my understanding, right? Didn't sound like it, so.
Anything else?
So February 3.
I would, yeah, let's just continue this until February 3, so that resolution, we aren't going to take any action on that today because the contract is still being worked through. And I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of the council, the staff, and all the residents of the city of Sheldon to extend our thanks to KIWA for this wonderful gesture, for getting this thing off the ground. Walt and his staff have been an integral part of this community for many years, and we are grateful for the role they play and for putting back into the community in such a wonderful way now. So thank you to all of them. And if the dog could be named differently, I would name him Joyzy, since Walt's license plate for a number of years was Joyzy, because he's from New Jersey.
But he can always have a nickname.
So, thank you.
I wonder what the Czech equivalent of that is. Officer Menike, you don't have to learn Czechoslovakian to. He might. Oh, that'd be interesting.
All right, let's move on to city manager report. If you have anything else, Sam?
I do not.
Okay. Any comments from you, Todd? Is Kurt, are you listening in? Kurt Strauth?
No, he's not. He had
Okay.
an appointment.
Okay, so none from him then. Anything else from you, Chief Birch? Okay. Angie, anything from you?
No thanks.
How about you, Micah?
Not at this time.
All right, my count's to the left. Anything from any of you guys?
Nope.
To my right?
Nope.
Nope.
And I have no comments either, so we can move on then to item 8. I'll take a motion for adjournment.
So
Nope.
moved.
No, we got a closed session.
Oh, that's right. I forget that every time. I did the last time too. Right. Let's. I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session.
There we go.
For union negotiations.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Gemmell.
Aye.
Gibb.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Farahona.
Aye.
Brewster.
Aye.
Jumped all over that adjournment.
Everyone's excited.
I wonder if we have to rescind that,
Yeah.
that motion.
You go, Justin, back in.
I suppose we're going to do that, huh?
So they don't have a
Do we need to get Tom back in on Zoom?
some safe
Yeah.
for this deal.
I can update. Okay.
Do we let him sit down before we end it?
Coming out of closed session, no action was taken. Negotiations are continuing. Seems to be going in the right direction. At the time we reach agreement, further action will be taken at that time.
Make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Brewster.
Aye.
Farahona.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Kent.
Aye.
Gemmell.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
We get to go study now.
What's that?
So we get to go study.
Yeah.
Study. Oh, yeah.
Why would we have that as our goal?